My dad disowned me by text. No call, no conversation, just a message. It came 3 weeks before my wedding. I was in the middle of finalizing guest arrangements when my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, thinking it was another vendor or relative asking for details. But when I saw his name, I opened it. If you go through with this marriage, don't consider yourself part of this family anymore. I read it twice, then a third time, not because I didn't understand it, but because I wanted to make sure I wasn't misreading something that serious. There was no confusion, no hidden meaning, just a clear line. Him or my choice. I sat there for a long moment, phone still in my hand. Then I typed back, "I'm not doing anything wrong." The reply came quickly. "That's your opinion." I stared at the screen. That was it. No attempt to understand. No discussion. Just judgment. I didn't argue after that. Not because I agreed, but because I understood something in that moment. This wasn't a conversation I could win. It wasn't even a conversation at all. It was a decision he had already made. So I made mine. I put the phone down and continued planning my wedding. Without him. Without my mother too, eventually. Because where he drew the line, she chose to stand beside him. The wedding day came. People asked, "Your parents aren't here? Are they coming later?" I smiled politely. Couldn't make it. Simple. Clean. No explanations. Because some things are too heavy to explain in small conversations. And honestly, I didn't want pity. I just wanted to move forward. And I did. Life didn't fall apart like I had feared. It changed. Quietly. I built my own routine. My own space. My own version of family. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Months passed, then a year, then 2. No calls. No messages. Nothing. At first, I noticed the silence. Then I got used to it. And eventually, I stopped expecting it to break. Until one afternoon, it did. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. But something made me answer. "Hello." There was a pause. Then a voice I hadn't heard in 2 years. "Beta." I didn't respond immediately because I recognized it instantly. My dad. Same voice. Same tone. But different. Softer. Careful. "How are you?" he asked. I leaned back slightly. "I'm fine," I said. There was a short silence. Then he said, "I need to talk to you about something important." Of course. I didn't ask what it was. I already had a feeling, because people don't disappear for 2 years and come back for nothing. "Okay," I said. "When can we meet?" he asked. I thought for a moment, then gave him a time. Not out of excitement, not out of anger, just neutrality, because whatever this was, I wasn't the same person he had texted 2 years ago, and I wasn't going into that conversation as someone waiting to be accepted again. We met at a small office, not his house, that told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't personal. This was business. He was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table with a file in front of him. He stood up when he saw me. "You've changed," he said. "Time does that." I replied calmly. We shook hands. Not a hug, not even close, just something formal. We sat down. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he cleared his throat. "I'll get straight to the point," he said. I nodded. I expected that. He opened the file and turned it toward me. "There's a property issue," he said. "Land that's still partially in your name." I looked down at the papers. Legal documents. Old ownership records. My name was there. From years ago. Before everything. "It needs to be transferred," he continued. "But I can't complete it without your signature." There it was. Clear. Simple. He didn't call to reconnect. He didn't call to apologize. He called because he needed something. I leaned back slightly. "And that's why you reached out?" I asked. He hesitated. "Partly," he said. I almost smiled. Partly, he exhaled. I thought maybe we could also talk. About what? I asked. He paused, then said, about fixing things. I looked at him for a long moment, not angry, not emotional, just observant. 2 years ago, I said calmly, you told me I wasn't part of this family. He didn't respond immediately. I was upset, he said. That wasn't upset, I replied. That was a decision. Silence. He looked down at the table for a second, then back at me. I shouldn't have said it like that. I nodded slightly. No, you shouldn't have. Another pause. Not tense. Just honest. He pushed the documents slightly closer to me. This needs to be signed soon, he said. Back to business. I looked at the papers again, then back at him. What happens if I don't sign? I asked. He frowned slightly. It complicates things. For you? I said. He didn't deny it. I let that sit there for a moment, because for the first time, the position had shifted. 2 years ago, I was the one being cut off. Now, I was the one being asked, and I wasn't in a hurry to answer. I'm not refusing, I said calmly. He relaxed slightly, but I'm not signing today either. His expression changed again. Why not? I folded my hands on the table, because last time you made a decision about me without giving me a choice. He didn't speak. This time, I continued, I'll take mine. The room went quiet, not hostile, just balanced. He leaned back in his chair. What do you want? He asked. A simple question, but a real one. I thought about it for a moment. Not money, not control, just clarity. I want you to understand something, I said. He listened. You don't get to disappear for 2 years and come back like nothing happened. He nodded slowly. I know. No, I said calmly. You know what happened. Understanding it is different. That landed, because it wasn't an argument. It was a fact. He stayed quiet for a moment, then asked, So what now? I looked at the documents one more time, then closed the file, gently. Now, I said, we do this properly. He frowned slightly. What does that mean? It means this isn't just about a signature, I said, and it's not something I'm rushing into. He studied my face, trying to read it, but there was nothing to read, because I wasn't reacting anymore. I was deciding. I'll review everything, I added. Legally, fully. He nodded. Okay. And after that, I said, we'll see. Another pause. Then he said something quieter. Can we at least talk outside of this? I looked at him for a moment, then replied, maybe. Not yes, not no, just honest, because forgiveness isn't immediate, and neither is trust. But for the first time in that room, this wasn't about control. It wasn't about authority. It wasn't about who was right. It was about something much simpler, respect. And this time, it wasn't being demanded. It was being earned. A week later, I called him. Let's talk, I said. No documents, no pressure, just a conversation. Because signatures can wait, but understanding can't. And this time, if anything was going to be rebuilt, it would start with truth, not control.